What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to Wednesday evening's Anfield Agenda News Roundup. Over the course of the next few minutes, we're going to be discussing Darwin Nunez' future. We're going to be asking, are Bayern Munich really serious with their low ball offer for Luis Diaz? A little bit on Marc Guehi and the battle for his signature, and then we'll finish up with some conversation around Hugo Ekitike and how the Reds look like they could be moving in that direction. That and lots more to come over the next few minutes. A bit of a heads up for everybody tonight. We're going to be starting our late night agenda a little bit later than normal. We're going to start sometime between 9 and 9:15. Just a few personal things that we need to get sorted out here in the Houlden household. So I will see you tonight for a late night agenda, but a little bit later than normal. Just keep an eye on the notifications and you will know exactly when we're going to get going. Right, loads to get through. So we're going to start off with this news. So following Victor Osimhen's sale, Napoli will enter fresh talks with Liverpool for Darwin Nunez, who remains their top priority, said Fabrizio Romano. Nunez is open to the move, as we know and as we've heard many times, but Napoli just have to get to that number that Liverpool are going to be happy with. Now, they are coming up, to be fair. The last offer, I believe, was somewhere in and around 54 million euros. So let's see if they can get up a little bit higher. But I think it would suit both parties here if we could find a way to offload Darwin to Napoli. Obviously, that would kickstart Liverpool's dipping their toes into the transfer market for a replacement there for Darwin. So keep an eye on this one. It does certainly look like it's trending in the direction where we could have a positive outcome over a sale. Obviously, Victor Osimhen's move to Galatasaray looks like it's moving along. They've got to the 75 million euro Napoli wanted, albeit not all in one lump sum, but I'm sure that they will still figure that one out. And then hopefully Darwin finds a way to Napoli. Now, let's move on to Marc Guehi for a minute, because again, some reports today to suggest that Newcastle are becoming a little bit more optimistic of the chances of signing Marc Guehi. Now, I don't know, truthfully, what's happening here between Liverpool and Marc Guehi. Obviously, things have gone quiet in that regard for obvious reasons, but we do think that Liverpool are going to make a play soon for a defender, and Marc Guehi is the one that makes the most sense, right? Premier League tried and tested, 24 years of age, and would cover us, obviously, with the loss of Jarell Kwanzaa, and also, if the worst came to the worst with Ibrahim Kanade, it would mean that Liverpool don't then have to go out and find a starting centre-back maybe at the end of the window. They could look to bring in that younger replacement for Jarell Kwanzaa. So I do think you may see Liverpool make the move soon for Marc Guehi, but again, Newcastle are hovering around there. Newcastle starting to do a bit of business in this window. Obviously, Anthony Elanga going in there as well. So they're starting to be able to spend a bit more money, having come through their PSR concerns. Let's move on next to talk a little bit about Luis Diaz. So, Christian Falk again saying Bayern are willing to pay a maximum of 51.6 or 60 million euro for Luis Diaz. Let me say this really clearly. You're not getting Luis Diaz for anywhere near 60 million euro, because Liverpool know that Al Nassr are going to be willing to pay 85 to 100 million euro. So this talk of 60 million euro is not only wasting Diaz's time, it's wasting Liverpool's time. And look, Lucho may want to move away, as we discussed in last night's stream. He knows he's got options there. Barcelona's still in the mix, but it's wasting everybody's time unless you get to a number that's going to turn Liverpool's head, because we don't need to sell him. So if he is going to be sold, it certainly won't be for the 60 million euro there that Bayern Munich are apparently willing to offer. They've already been told he wasn't for sale, but apparently in Bayern world, that means, well, let's come back with a derisory offer, because that's what this is, in my opinion, a derisory offer. You're not getting somebody of Luis Diaz caliber for 60 million euro. It just isn't happening. Now, one thing that was confirmed today is that Liverpool's first pre-season friendly against Preston North End at Deepdale will take place as scheduled this weekend. It's a 3 p.m. kickoff. As I sit here now, the game is still planned to be scheduled and broadcast on ITV. So we will, of course, be covering it here on the channel. We'll be starting about half an hour, 45 minutes beforehand. So again, just to confirm, Liverpool's first pre-season friendly this Sunday against Preston North End will take place as scheduled, and we will be covering it here on the channel. A couple of fixture changes to let you guys know about as well. Liverpool-Newcastle has been moved to Monday, August 25th with an 8 p.m. kickoff. That's Newcastle's first home game of the season, I think, and a difficult one for us to go up to St James's Park. Who knows? Will we have Alexander Isak in the side at that point? Probably not, but more on the striker search in a moment. And Liverpool-Arsenal has been moved as well. It'll be on Sky Sports Sunday, August the 31st with a 4:30 kickoff. So again, just to confirm, Newcastle-Liverpool, Monday, August 25th, 8 p.m. Liverpool-Arsenal, Sunday, August 31st with a 4:30 kickoff. Now, The decision has been made that Olympique Lyon will not be relegated to the second division of French football, meaning that it's looking bad for Crystal Palace and their hopes to be in the Europa League next season, more than likely pushing Marc Guehi even closer to the exit door. I want to move on to the striker search now because, well, a big claim has been made today, and I wanted to get your thoughts on this in the comment section. But just before we get to the claim, a little bit more. So Hugo Ekitike, as seems to be the trend with strikers who are looking for a move this summer, spent most of his summer holiday in Marrakesh working on his game and training to get himself ready for the best possible shape for pre-season. That's the kind of dedication he has, writes Ben Bochak. So again, we've seen it with João Pedro before his move to Chelsea. He was taking a personal trainer away with him, and to be fair, looks fit and sharp. And Hugo Ekitike, well, it looks like he's starting to do the same thing. Right, now let's move on to the big news of the day, which is Nico Shearer saying that Liverpool are currently not only leading the race to sign Hugo Ekitike from Eintracht Frankfurt, but also that they've opened talks. And that's the key part of this for me. Both sides, he says, have open talks over the move. Now, I don't know if he's getting a little bit ahead of himself here, but it does seem the common sense play to me, this one. I don't know enough about Hugo Ekitike to know if he's the solution or not, but clearly the kid has something about him. Lots of clubs looking at him. We know Victor Gyökeres looks like he's gone to Arsenal. So this always made sense to me because Newcastle's valuation, if even there is one, for Isak just seems very, very high. Even despite yesterday links still being there, this makes the most sense to me that if Liverpool know, let's say, that Darwin maybe is moving closer to the sale door, well then Hugo Ekitike could be the one. And of course we know Arne Slot and Liverpool will ideally like to get their business done as early as possible. We need a centre-back, we need a centre-forward. That isn't up for debate. So we got to get moving in the market, and it looks as if, at least according to Nico Shearer, that both sides have open talks. Now what it doesn't say is anything to do with a price point. We know that the initial asking price was €100 million. There's been some reports to suggest that Frankfurt could be softened up a little bit there if something about €85 million were to come in. So let's wait and see what happens. But as of right now, certainly looks like that's the most likely destination for him to go is to Liverpool. Nico Shearer saying both sides have open talk. So that is it for me for now, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, we will be back tonight about 9:15 for the late night agenda. Hope you can join us for it. If not, if you're watching the PSG Real Madrid game, enjoy it. Of course, we'd love you to join the Anfield Agenda WhatsApp channel as well. If you want to scan that QR code there on the screen, that will bring you over. And if you want to come and see us for our last ever stage show in Liverpool, well, anywhere actually, it just happens to be in Liverpool, our last ever one, Sunday 19th of October at the Hot Water Comedy Club in Liverpool. We'll be there for the final time. After that, I'm, well, retiring the microphone from doing stage shows because they really do frighten the hell out of me. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for now, but I'll see you back here tonight. Appreciate your support as always. Much love, my friends. Bye-bye.